Okay, so who would like to hear some absolutely outrageous drama between quite a controversial mummy influencer, a surrogate, and also the surrogate agency? The surrogate agency are accusing Shannon Rose and her husband of trying to do this like Handmaid's Tale type lock her in the house and not let her go type of situation. And Shannon Rose is accusing both the surrogate and the agency of withholding money unless Shannon Rose takes her videos down, because she has been accusing the surrogate of not following through with the medications. If you want to hear about any of that, I would absolutely love to guide you through it, because it's one of those stories where the more you listen into it, you're not really quite sure who to believe. But trust me, there is just so many different sides to this, so you're going to want to stick around. Also, 100,000 followers. I cannot believe it. I absolutely love you guys. I did not realize I would hit it yesterday. I made a post, but I'm working on a little video, like a 100k video, so that one will be coming. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and for all the lovely messages. So let's spin it and let's get on to what the hell has happened. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Shannon Rose before. I haven't heard of her name for years. It says on her page now she's a homesteading and homeschooling in the middle of the forest. She posts a lot of like crunchy mum content kind of thing. She does actually have quite a big snark audience. Even the surrogate agency, even they acknowledge the fact that she does have, in their own words, a colourful past. So they were a little bit like, do we take them on? Do we take them, not take them on?
Hello everybody, my name is Shannon Rose and I am a mom to two beautiful little miracle IVF babies. And I'm married to a wonderful man named Travis, and we currently live in the forest in Tennessee, East Tennessee. We're not from here. We actually were like born and raised in California and Los Angeles.
The only thing that I can say without going down an absolute huge rabbit hole of Shannon Rose, and if you do know a lot about this character, feel free to shout out in the comments as long as you are being appropriate. The only thing I will say that was one of her controversies a few years ago now was it was exposed that she was into like fetish style, this is taking such a strange term, she was into like fetish style content, and there was one instance where people found videos of her stamping on a live sea animal as a part of her fetish content. So that is pretty much one of the main controversies I know about her. But we're going to move very swiftly past this before we completely derail the chat. And they announced it the summer of this year that they had found a surrogate, and the surrogate's name is Patience, and I will put Patience up here. So they found each other. They actually found each other via a Facebook page. I don't know if that is necessarily the best way to find matches, but I don't know, totally naive in that whole department. Even the agency did say that, you know, it was a little bit different if Patience and Shannon were coming to the agency after already finding each other. And that's when you use the agency to, you know, sign contracts and to make it official, because of course you're going to be departing with a lot of money. You want to make sure that everything is tip top and that you're not going to be blindsided. Yeah. So they did kind of think like, okay, well, we're just going to give us a little go.
We met Shannon Rose, who's a prominent social media influencer, through online. She found someone named Patience in one of these Facebook groups to match with, and they came to our agency already talking to each other and asking our agency if we'd be willing to represent both sides of them and kind of facilitate the match. We don't usually sign up to these arrangements, but in this case, I did talk to both of them and decide that we would agree to do this. They wanted to share openly their journey on social media, which we were okay with. I was warned, there was some people who told me to be wary of Shannon. Her past is a bit colorful, to say the least. You can Google it if you want, but at our agency, we feel like everyone should have a chance for the families that they want to build, and if there's things in your past that you're not very proud of, you should be giving second chances and it shouldn't haunt you.
Both pages, both Patience and also Shannon Rose, they are both posting about the fact that they found each other and they're gonna, you know, work together and it's all gonna be great. Patience does already have children, so Patience, I believe, was still breastfeeding one of her kids, but she has been very excited to be a surrogate. It's all over her page. She's also a doula as well.
Surrogacy update. We are so close to transferring. I'm so excited. Right now, we are waiting for our legal contracts to be finalized, and then we're going to do a mock cycle. So they're going to check my uterus, and they're going to measure my uterus lining to see what day is the perfect day to implant this embryo, because we have one shot, and that's it.
And they would post quite a lot of content over the course, even going on live together and answering questions, because of course Shannon Rose is this like mummy influencer, so need to make it as public as possible. What can possibly go wrong? No one really thought there was a problem until Shannon Rose came on and she made a video stating that she was not going to be doing this anymore, that her surrogate was not going to be her surrogate anymore.
I just wanted to make public knowledge that we unfortunately are no longer working with our surrogate. Some things came up that made us have to terminate our contract with her. Since then, it's come to our attention that she's still reaching out to people as if she's still our surrogate, and she's not. So I just wanted to publicly post that we're no longer working with her. The whole situation is obviously very heartbreaking. We've put a lot of time and a lot of money into this whole journey. It was really hard for our family to have to do this after all of this time and all the money that was spent. It was something we really didn't want to do. So obviously there were some pretty big things that made us have to make that hard decision. I just wanted to let you guys know we've been sharing our journey. Wanted to let you guys know kind of where we're at right now, and it sucks.
It's an interesting thing to note as well at the end when she was saying, the surrogate is still pretending like she is still my surrogate. I haven't seen any proof of that. Again, she could have been on live, she could have been doing this and that, who really knows. Now, she does also leave in a comment, "This is my experience with your fertility advocate, and it is to warn people who are looking into agencies that I had a horrible experience and they are holding over 100k in funds they owe us until I take my videos I made about my experience with her down." Megan is, I believe, the owner of this agency. And we've already covered some basics where she is saying they met over on Facebook, which is not obviously the norm. They say that the agency as a whole side with the surrogate.
Even with the warnings, with this match, both, as you know, if you follow either of these couples, they're quite opinionated in some of their ideas, home birth, no vax, things like that. These are things that they share in common that could make them a good match. I remember saying, wow, this is either going to be a really great match or this is going to be a disaster. We had not really done this before. The reason I'm talking about it openly now is because we did give this match a chance, and it did go sideways. And so this can be a learning lesson to everyone in the community about missteps that could be made and how things could be handled better. So our agency, and we did find that Shannon is posting openly on social media about her version of events, which is why I'm making this video, because unfortunately I don't like things to be all online. I don't like drama, but if somebody else is painting a narrative that we find false, I do feel like we have to clear the air and state our side of the story. So the match moved forward, and they didn't even get to the point of a pregnancy. They signed a legal contract together, and then the surrogate was supposed to start some birth control pills to prepare her body, which she did. And her period was not coming at the time they thought it would. So Shannon and her husband got in their mind that the surrogate was not taking the birth control as prescribed. And they started to have some doubts about her seriousness about being their surrogate, which is okay. We tried to counsel them that there's no reason to doubt her at this point. There's no medical evidence, but that was not sufficient for them. They still thought there was something fishy going on. Which is not proven at all. No medical professional is saying that the surrogate did anything incorrect medically. Nothing was breached, no contracts were breached, but it was clear that there had been some trust issues about, the parents trusting their surrogate. So Shannon decided to break the match, and she stated her mental health was the reason to break the match. She contacted her attorney and broke the match with her surrogate, and the surrogate felt blindsided. She didn't know about these issues, these so-called issues. So the match was broken, but then Shannon regretted the decision and wanted the surrogate to come back and agree to be her surrogate again, which the surrogate, understandably so, was wary about.
She then decided to backtrack on this, wanting to terminate the contract, went back to patients, and gave her basically like an ultimatum. You do this thing and then we'll let you be the surrogate. Which, by the way, like, you can't just, if it's something to do with something as serious as hiring a surrogate to carry your child, I don't feel like playing cat and mouse with, I want you to be the surrogate. I do like toying with the fact you don't want to do the contract anymore. I don't feel like that is the greatest way to go about it.
Then Shannon regretted the decision and wanted the surrogate to come back and agree to be her surrogate again, which the surrogate, understandably so, was wary about. And Shannon's conditions to continue the match was that they had to live with their surrogate in the same home, and Shannon wanted to be able to give all the injection medications so she could verify that she was taking the medications correctly. So our agency said that was not standard, not normal behavior. We don't advise that. We don't advise the surrogate to agree to rematch under these conditions. The match is broken. Let's leave it as is. Let's go our separate ways and wish everyone well. And we hoped that that would be the end of it, but unfortunately that wasn't. When the surrogate did not agree to rematch with the parents under those conditions, the parents have become very angry and irate about that. And they've then demanded all money that they've paid for their surrogate, like her legal fees and her medical screening, be refunded back to them, and things like rental cars. They paid for her rental car to come visit them where they live, and they wanted money back for the rental car, and on and on and on and on. It's just a lot. They also came after our agency saying that we committed fraud and that we stole money from them, and they're gonna call the police on us, and they're gonna report us to all these media outlets. And none of this is true. And when she broke the match and said it was because of her mental health, it's clearly a mental health issue, and we think this is a blessing in disguise, that this match is over, and we wish you well, but we will get you any money refunded that you are obligated due to your legal terms. With the legal contract you sign, our agency can't override those terms, but we will get you settled up on everything that's legal, and we wish you well, and I'm sorry that you didn't get the outcome you wanted.
Yeah, so what they were basically saying, we want you to live with us, and we also want to be the one to administer the injections to make sure that you're doing it. There must be something written somewhere that is not ethical whatsoever. We should not be administering injections to ours. We shouldn't be doing that unless both of them had already made that decision. But you basically holding that over someone and being like, you can't do this for us unless we can inject you. I think that is absolutely insane.
And Shannon, I'm just gonna literally put them left and right, but she's basically saying that the clinic is slandering her when people are calling her out for what is going on and what she was proposing the surrogate do. She's basically saying that, like, the clinic is slandering her.
Now, to our understanding from here, the agency is saying that she was cleared by medical professionals and all of that, and everything was looking the way that it should do. But of course, Shannon is growing increasingly concerned that she is not doing her injections properly, that she's not taking the correct steps, and that apparently she was concerned that she was still breastfeeding. Apparently, breastfeeding when you're trying to do these injections is not necessarily the greatest thing to do because it decreases different hormonal levels, which will affect the chances of it being successful. So jury for me, I was just a little bit confused. I was like, right, both sides saying completely different things. Now, Shannon has been collecting for, I'm assuming they wanted to do like a little story, like a little vlog style thing. I'm not really sure, but she's been collecting all the conversations that her and patients have been having. And she posted a video where she was confronting patients, and patients was basically saying that, you know, she may have missed a day or something a bit like that.
I said I took the birth control, and then I also said that I didn't have it at the same time for a couple days, and then the 2 days that I was gone for that birth. But other than that, yes, I took it. And
there's just multiple things that have happened that have gone on that between, like, you know, I thought we had agreed that, like, you were going to stop nursing. You said, yeah, that's no problem at all. So I was upset that I had seen, you know, since May that you still were nursing, because it was just something that we had agreed that you wouldn't do. It just feels like to us that you're not really taking it very seriously. And if you forgot your medication for one thing because you were busy, and then you forgot your medication for another thing, like, to me, it just shows like you don't care very much. And for us, like, this is our baby. Like,
I know it is
to us, and it doesn't seem like it's important to you or that we can trust you.
and then I had that birth, and then I went to my appointment. So I wasn't able to take it because it was at home.
So then people then rushed over to the Post, and they said, except the surrogate admitted in a video call that she forgot the birth control a couple of times. Patient says, that video was edited if you can't notice the cuts in it. Also, not taking a birth control pill for one day doesn't disrupt the process. The clinic said everything was great and my body was ready, and that is when they broke the match due to Shannon's health. But because of issues and not giving them a second chance, she is retaliating. I wasn't the reason the match broke in the first place. She's just finding excuses to make it look like bad for me. They were saying that Shannon's health was the reasoning as to why they weren't going to be going down this route. Shannon then decides to come back and then just be like, I want this to work. However, we're only going to be doing this if we can inject you from our own home. So obviously that's not going to go down very well.
And when she broke the match and said it was because of her mental health, it's clearly a mental health issue, and we think this is a blessing in disguise, that this match is over, and we wish you well, but we will get you any money refunded that you are obligated due to your legal terms. With the legal contract you signed, our agency can't override those terms, but we will get you settled up on everything that's legal, and we wish you well, and I'm sorry that you didn't get the outcome you wanted, but let's all go our separate ways and not cause any more drama.
I do agree that the video from someone who, she's literally showing you through a video editor, like as someone who edits videos, yeah, that obviously was edited. And Patience then decides to come back. And she actually has all of the separate things as well. She says, I just want to clarify that I did do a video call where we addressed some of the issues Shannon had, but I also did not give consent for them to be posted. I don't have anything to hide, but I had access to them. But I no longer do, as I feel as if I should be able to put my perspective of the unedited versions. And this is another key player to present to the class. So here is her having a conversation via email with her practitioner, talking about her period. Your estradiol was 39 and your ovaries are quiet, so the birth control pills did their job keeping you suppressed. Your lining was 8.7, which means you need to shed that old lining. Once you shed your old lining, we will start building up a fresh new one with your estrans. Did you receive a medication from MDR pharmacy? It feels so weird reading about other people's medical details. However, they are readily posting this. So yeah, so she's saying her doctor said that she was ready to move on to the next level.
Fortunately, my surrogacy journey has ended with the other couple, and I know that there is a right fit out there for me somewhere. I know that everything happens for a reason, and this was meant to be, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. If anybody has questions on anything, on what's going on, feel free to reach out.
So who is lying? Because Shannon's now saying that the clinic is withholding 100k from her, and the clinic is basically turning around and being like, no, we are sorting out those funds.
Sorry, that's literally such an undercooked way of what is actually allegedly happening. No, allegedly, Shannon Rose is arguing for all of this money back, including like rental cars and stuff, like money for the rental cars, like money, just stuff which already would have kind of been paid, and all of this money from the agency, just basically asking it back, and the agency is just being like, no, we'll get you as much as we can legally, but we can't give you everything, which, I'm assuming that is correct. You can't just ask for absolutely everything back. That there must be some sort of procedure when you go into these things to know that you will be losing money. Sorry, that was such an under exaggeration. I didn't really touch on the money, kind of, is it being fraudulent, is it not? I didn't really touch on it because, to be honest with you, I don't know too much about what the parents versus surrogate are actually entitled to in the case of a termination. I don't know very much about it, but what I can imagine is there's some things which are just not going to be refundable, and there's some things which you could be owed, but whatever the case may be.
Shannon's saying that she is being blackmailed, that unless she takes down her videos regarding the agency, then the agency won't give her that, but haven't seen any documentation to back that up. Patience is saying that the reasoning why the contract was terminated was because of Shannon's health and not because she wasn't doing it properly. Shannon is saying that the reasoning why the contract was terminated was because Patience was not following and was not doing due diligence. She was not doing what she should be doing. Yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got so far. No doubt, because Shannon wants to release like a documentary on this, so it seems. I'm not discounting anyone. I honestly, at this point, I need more information. I do feel like we do have more receipts coming from Patience's end, given all of the medication information, and also the agency is siding with her. And Shannon's only piece of evidence really is a chopped up video, which I don't know. But then again, Shannon could be in the right, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the situation? I would absolutely love to hear everyone's thoughts and feelings on this. I thank you so much once again for 100k. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to get to work with filming something. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.